Have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself, what do doctors really think about older people when the office door closes and the polite smile fades away? Because if you have, then you're already braver than most. And today, you're about to hear some truths that could shock you, empower you, and maybe even save your life. The reality is that the medical profession, for all of its scientific brilliance, advanced technology, and compassionate faces, is still made up of human beings. And like all humans, they carry biases, assumptions, and unspoken beliefs about aging. And when it comes to seniors, many of these hidden perspectives can completely shape the way care is given, decisions are made, and even how your concerns are or aren't taken seriously. Let's start with the first ugly truth. Doctors often assume that once a person crosses into their 60s, 70s, or 80s, they are set in their ways, which means when advice is offered, whether it's about changing diet, exercising more, or reducing alcohol and sugar, it is delivered almost half-heartedly, with the silent belief that the older patient won't actually follow through. And this assumption, though rarely spoken aloud, becomes dangerous because it lowers the quality of guidance seniors receive, meaning instead of passionate encouragement, they often get generic instructions. And worse, their genuine attempts at change are overlooked, leaving many older adults feeling unheard or underestimated. But the second truth is even more concerning. Countless doctors quietly admit that they sometimes dismiss symptoms in older adults as just part of aging, when in fact, those symptoms may be early warning signs of serious conditions. When an older patient says, "I'm tired all the time," the doctor may label it as natural slowing down, when in reality it could be heart disease, thyroid dysfunction, or nutritional deficiency. When a senior complains of forgetfulness, the assumption may be normal aging, when in truth it could be medication side effects, depression, or even a reversible cognitive issue. This silent labeling is what allows dangerous problems to go undiagnosed until it's too late. And many seniors only discover the truth when the condition has advanced beyond easy treatment. Now, the third ugly truth takes us even deeper. Many doctors, whether consciously or unconsciously, shorten the amount of time they spend with older patients, believing that seniors are less likely to challenge recommendations or question the system, which means the rushed appointment becomes a ticking time bomb. Important details are missed, subtle warning signs are overlooked, and seniors leave the office with prescriptions instead of real solutions. And behind closed doors, some doctors even admit that these shortened appointments are a way to keep schedules moving, not realizing that what they perceive as efficiency can rob a senior of the opportunity to fully explain their concerns, and that lost minute could mean the difference between early treatment and irreversible decline. The fourth truth, and perhaps the one that reveals the darker side of healthcare, is the quiet acknowledgement that seniors are the most medicated group in society, often juggling 5, 10, or even 15 prescriptions at once. And yet behind the scenes, doctors admit that this is not always about necessity. Sometimes it's about playing it safe, avoiding lawsuits, or following guidelines that are influenced by pharmaceutical companies. Polypharmacy, the technical term for being on multiple drugs, creates an endless cycle of side effects that often lead to more prescriptions. And some doctors privately confess that it's easier to prescribe a pill than to sit for 30 minutes discussing lifestyle changes that could actually reduce the need for medication. The result is that many seniors unknowingly live in a fog of side effects, believing their old age is to blame. when in truth, it's the cocktail of drugs keeping them tired, dizzy, or forgetful. And then comes the fifth truth, the most unsettling of all. In many corners of the medical world, seniors are not viewed as individuals filled with wisdom, stories, and potential, but rather as numbers on a chart, patients who are seen through the lens of cost, insurance codes, and how many years they are statistically expected to live. While not all doctors share this cold perspective, enough of them have admitted it quietly, that seniors are less likely to be referred for expensive procedures or aggressive treatments simply because of age, and that it raises serious ethical questions about equality in healthcare. Imagine being told you don't need a certain therapy not because it wouldn't work, but because someone behind the scenes decided your age makes you a lower priority. This silent calculation happens more often than most realize, and yet very few seniors are ever aware of it. And so the question becomes, knowing these ugly truths, what can you do? The answer lies not in fear, but in empowerment. Because when you know how doctors sometimes think, you can change the way you show up in the exam room. You can refuse to be the silent senior who nods politely and leaves with half answers. You can walk in prepared with questions written down, demanding clarity and second opinions. You can track your symptoms in detail so nothing gets dismissed as normal aging. You can ask about alternatives to every new prescription. And most importantly, you can remind every doctor you meet that you are not just a body in decline, but a mind and spirit with value, agency, and wisdom. Think of it this way: doctors may carry assumptions, but you carry decades of lived experience, and the power of that wisdom is something no medical degree can replicate. So if the system sees you as a statistic, you have the choice to break free from that box and prove by your actions that after 60, life is not about fading away. It's about demanding the respect you've earned. And here is the challenge I leave you with. The next time you sit across from a doctor, ask yourself, am I going to let them treat me like another aging patient? Or will I show them that I'm still sharp, still strong, still capable, and still deserving of the very best care? Because in the end, the truth may be ugly, but the power is beautiful and it's yours to claim.